Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. Today on the program, authorities to strictly enforce lockdown orders amid the Taal Volcano threat.
Pipigilan na po natin sila na papakiusapan nating umalis na, no? Para din sa sariling kapakanan.
With local officials mulling to force evacuate residents living in danger zones.
Kailangan para masalba lang yung mga buhay nila, ay batakin silang palabas ng mga lugar na yon.
The challenges in evacuation centers.
Baka po sa mga dadating na araw, wala na po kaming maibibigay. No? So baka, wag na munang ubos-ubos biyaya.
And the long-term plans for Taal-affected residents. Batangas Vice Governor Mark Leviste joins us live. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pinky Webb. State volcanologists say that a hazardous explosive Taal volcano eruption may still happen. Alert level 4 remains up for days. Volcanologists are warning that Taal volcano may just spew lava anytime now. They say magma or molten rock has crept closer to the surface of the volcano, and hundreds of volcanic quakes have been recorded, indicating that an explosion is highly likely. Also, security officials are stepping up to implement a lockdown in Taal-affected towns and force residents to leave the so-called danger zones. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Batangas Vice Governor Mark Leviste. Vice Governor, thank you for giving us your time. I know you're very busy.
Thank you very much for having me here. It's a pleasure.
So, you have the President visiting Batangas. You have the Vice President yesterday also visiting Batangas.
Not once, but twice, both of them.
Silang dalawa. Tell us more about the promises they gave the local officials and the residents there na kailangan tugunan ng pansin as soon as possible.
Well, first of all, during the first visit of the President, he made mention that all agencies, national government agencies, must focus on the relief and rehabilitation of the provincial government of Batangas, or our efforts from the provincial government. While on the other hand, the Vice President also focused on the retrieval of animals and taking care of their welfare, other than distributing relief goods in different evacuation centers in Batangas. This week, the President and the Vice President went back to the province second time around, and the President fortunately understood and comprehended the situation of Batangas after 1 week and requested from Congress a supplemental budget amounting to 30 billion pesos to help and assist the national government in providing livelihood, agriculture, and even housing for our displaced kababayans. The Vice President yesterday also visited the province of Batangas and continued her relief efforts in different evacuation centers. Nagpakain po siya ng lugaw, merienda, tanghalian,
Pandesal,
and provided entertainment to our kababayans in the evacuation centers.
How has this boosted somehow the morale of the Batangueños?
Malaking bagay ito. When I went to one evacuation center in Mataas na Kahoy, sabi nga sa akin ng isang nanay, Vice, busog nga kami, pero naguguluhan ng aming isipan. I can only assume that naguguluhan sila dahil hindi nila alam kung meron silang mauuwian, kung meron silang mababalikan, at kung meron pa silang kabuhayan pagkatapos ng ordeal na ito.
And with that, I want to discuss that with you. Anong plano niyo sa probinsya ng Batangas, especially those who have been affected by Taal Volcano? But I want to talk about money. Sa simpleng siguro explanation or paliwanag, Vice Governor, may pera pa ho ba ang Batangas?
May pera, pero kung sarili naming kaban, ay maliit po ang aming pondo. Based on law, we are only entitled to utilize 30% of our general fund for calamity funds. And 5% of the 30% can only be earmarked for our quick response fund, which is amounting to only 60 million pesos.
What's that again?
60. Yes.
Million pesos.
Yes.
Okay.
However, we are grateful for the support, the outpour, and overwhelming assistance from different sectors, both from government, local government units, from different cities, provinces around the Philippines, and even from private individuals as far as overseas. And as we speak, we have already received around 117 million pesos. And today, our First Lady, Miss Madam Hanilet, will be in the province of Batangas to donate 5 million pesos to the provincial government of Batangas to be used for relief and rehabilitation efforts of the provincial government.
I want to understand that better. How much do you have right now to spend, and how much have you actually spent?
For the Quick Response Fund, we have 60 million pesos. Right now...
Maliit po yun.
Maliit po yan. Alam natin yan. But you see, the governor has set a short, medium, and long-term plan for this. Our immediate plan is to provide relief to our kababayans displaced from the lockdown of their cities or towns. At the same time, those who chose to evacuate outside their locality. We already have more than 400 evacuation centers all around the province. This equates to more than 150,000 individuals, around 33,000 families. But this is only around 20% of the total evacuees in the province of Batangas. There are more who chose to actually reside in private homes. Maybe their relatives, their friends, or yung mga kababayan natin na nagpatira o nagpagamit ng kanilang pribadong tahanan. In fact, most of them, or some of them, I mean, chose to evacuate outside the province, like nearby provinces, Cavite, Laguna, Alfonso Cavite, Tagaytay Cavite, and even Calamba.
So 150,000 evacuees in 400 evacuation centers.
Yes.
Ganun ho kadami ang evacuation centers.
Marami po, kasi napakalawak po ng nadeklarang danger zone ng FIVOX. We are now in the 14-kilometer radius. And they have identified not only the towns, but the specific barangays that cannot be...
should be part of the danger zone.
Lived in, yes.
That's 199 barangays, if I'm not mistaken.
More or less.
Vice Governor. So I want to go back to what you said, the Quick Response Fund of 60 million pesos. Ubus na ho ba yun?
Hindi pa naman. Hindi pa naman. Because marami pong tumutulong sa lalawigan ng Batangas. They either course it through our donation hub or go directly to the evacuation center or different LGUs of Batangas. So, sa ngayon, sa aming naobserbahan sa evacuation centers, tila sapat pa naman ang mga kagamitan at mga supplies. But the big question is, even to be compared to other disasters, is hanggang kailan tatagal ang evacuation efforts na ito. We cannot really tell, and we rely on the information of FIVOX and experts to enlighten us. Until
on the current state of the volcano.
Yes, based on the state of the volcano.
And not your vice mayor, the vice mayor of Talisay.
What's that?
And not the pronouncements of the vice mayor of Talisay.
Well, that's another story. You know, I do understand where he's coming from. A lot of emotion. And of course, he's a local boy. He feels very comfortable with the current state of his locality, and that's Talisay. However, as public servants, we are covered and governed by laws and regulations. And whether we like it or not, we have to respect and recognize existing laws. And the DILG already gave a directive that there are certain areas in the province of Batangas that will be declared no man's land. So therefore, we cannot stay behind. In fact, the PNP yesterday already declared the suspension on window hours. So previously, local chief executives or mayors would allow people to go back home to check on their livestock and personal belongings. However, for the next 48 hours, or we are already inside 48 hours, they are prohibiting people to come back to even feed their livestock and check on their belongings.
So I just want to go back to what you said about who we're talking about is Vice Mayor of Talisay. His name is Charlie Natanawan.
Yes.
Questioning, of course, yung naging pronouncements ng FIVOX, especially Director Solidum, And in fact, he appealed to the president kung pwede daw palitan yon at pabalikin yung kanyang mga kababayan. You're saying, do you know him personally?
Yes.
Okay.
The mayor and the vice mayor.
And their brothers?
They're brothers. Yes.
Okay. Did you get to talk to him, sir, after his pronouncement?
No, but I was able to talk to Mayor Jerry Natanawan, the mayor.
Ano sinabi niyo po dun sa mayor about his brother na vice mayor?
I said that I do understand and respect the emotion, the state of mind, and the reaction of the vice mayor. However, we have no choice but to follow the law. To give you an example.
Sorry, sir. How can you understand his reaction, Vice Governor? How can you say that you understand the reaction of the Vice Mayor knowing that he's already saying na hindi totoo yung sinasabi ng FIVOX? He's a Vice Mayor. Pakikinggan po siya ng kanyang mga constituents.
Siguro humuhugot siya mula sa kanilang personal na karanasan. Sapagkat doon sila lumaki, doon sila pinanganak, nakasanayan na rin po nila itong pag-alboroto ng Bulkang Taal. Sa tunay na buhay, pag nagdeklara ang FIVOX ng level 1, kahit nga level 2, kami mga Batanggenyo, kahit mga tagapamahalaan, ay tila sanay na sa ganitong deklarasyon ng FIVOX. Subalit, hindi nga po namin inasahan na tuluyang sasabog ang Taal Volcan at ganitong kalawak ang kanyang magiging pinsala sa aming lalawigan.
Yeah.
And marami po sa aming mga kababayan, lalo higit yung mga nakakatanda at yung mga nakasaksi nung 1965 eruption na tila hindi na po sasabog ang Bulkang Taal mula nung ito'y sumabog nung January 12.
You know, the thing, Vice Governor, is understandably, you have lived there. For example, even the Vice Mayor has lived there. But Taal has erupted more than 30 times. And definitely the Vice Mayor has not been around the past 30 times. I guess the point I'm trying to make, sir, is when you have a local official declaring, saying that dapat pabalikin na kami, does it cause some sort of confusion to your constituents?
I have to admit that it actually caused alarm and confusion amongst our kababayans. Most especially those who are staying in the evacuation center. Sapagkat
Ano sabi nila?
nung bumisita ako sa Santo Tomas, ang sabi ng isang evacuee, pinauuwi na kami ng aming vice mayor. Samantala, nahihirapan na nga ang kapulisan o ang PNP na magpulis ng ating mga lockdown areas. Kung kaya't ito ay parang pabigat sa ating pamahalaan, hindi lang sa provincial government, much more to the national government because nagkakaroon ng confusion in terms of communication. Right? Sino bang aming paniniwalaan? Yung sariling aming pinuno o yung leader na si Vice Mayor o di kaya ang otoridad tulad ng ating kapulisan?
And for the most part, they would probably, ang paniniwalaan pa nila si local official kasi malapit sila doon, binoto nila yon, bilib sila doon, hindi ho ba?
Tama. At may emotional connection, may personal relationship.
That's why they have to be very careful. Vice Governor, I just wanted to ask, does the province plan to impose any sanctions on the Vice Mayor?
Right now, hindi pa namin iniisip yan. We are really focused on relief and rehabilitation. We are focused on our immediate, intermediate, and long-term planning. Our immediate plan is to make sure that our kababayans are safe and comfortable where they are right now, whether they chose to stay in an evacuation center or a private home. Now, it's been 1.5 weeks since classes has been suspended. And as per the declaration of our governor, it remains suspended while we are experiencing alert level 4. Now, we are also discussing plans on how to transfer our families, most especially our students, the young ones, to a different evacuation center away from those using the school facilities so that we can already resume classes. We already identified 2 properties or facilities of the province, particularly in Ibaan. One is supposed to be used as a drug rehabilitation center in Malainin, Ibaan. and it will be used as a temporary shelter for our evacuees.
You're moving them, you're transferring them there.
Yes. So the governor yesterday already instructed our provincial engineer's office, our provincial administrator to do an ocular inspection. Ito'y halos tapos na. Kulang na lang po ng utilities. Pero sa tulong po ng local government unit, ay maikakapit po natin ang patubig at ang kuryente para mapakinabangan ng ating mga
But they won't move there until may tubig at kuryente.
Temporary.
Okay, all right.
And then, secondly, our it was supposed to be a housing for our military and police in Talaibon, Ibaan, around 1,000 houses, but 800 has already been completed already, and this will be used as a temporary housing for our evacuees.
When, sir?
Immediately po.
Like in a week? In 2 weeks?
Yes, in 1 week.
Possibly in 1
Because
week.
tapos na yung proyekto, pero ito ay hindi pag-aari ng provincial government. Ito ay National Housing Authority or NHA. At pinagpaalam po namin sa national government kung ito ay pwede namin magamit muna pansamantala para sa ating mga bakwit.
We need to take a short break. We'll be right back. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Batangas Vice Governor Mark Leviste. I want to talk about and bring up the map that we have here. It's again, of course, a 14-kilometer danger zone, so we better understand the situation, sir. So ang sinasabi ngayon is the 14-kilometer danger zone is supposed to be, dapat wala doon ang mga residente. Ano po? Do you agree, ang sinasabi po ngayon ng mga officials is that they might have to do a mandatory evacuation because there are still other people living in that 14-kilometer danger zone?
I agree, simply because we cannot leave anyone behind. One life is too much, and we cannot risk the chance of having any casualties brought about by irresponsible leadership.
Yeah.
Now, do I agree on the decision of FIVOX or not? I guess that's not a question anymore because they're the experts in this field, and we have to accept and respect that study, not only from their technology, but from the history of Taal.
Absolutely. So the 14-kilometer danger zone, you're saying, sir, dapat sa pilitang paglikas na.
Tama po yun. At kasalukuyang ginagawa ngayon yan ng Philippine National Police.
And then let's move to certain areas. I hope you can help us understand this because ang palagi pong na-mention, apart from the other areas, no, you mentioned Mataas na Kahoy a while ago, but really it's Lemery, Agoncillo, and San Nicolas. No?
Okay, we have 5 totally locked down areas. And as you have mentioned, Lemery, Taal, Agoncillo, San Nicolas, Talisay, Laurel.
So Lemery, Agoncillo, San Nicolas, Talisay. We're missing one. You said 5.
Laurel.
Laurel.
Yes.
Okay.
Those are total lockdown. Temporary or partial lockdown is certain barangays in Tanawan,
Opo.
Lipa,
Okay.
Mataas na Kahoy.
Oh, dito na po yan eh.
Yes,
Okay, but
Malvar-Balete.
ito pong 1, 2, 3, 4 and Lemery. Lemery, Agoncillo, San Nicolas, and
Laurel.
And Laurel and Talisay. Bakit ho sila explain it was, sila ho kasi yung...
Unang-una, ang Agoncillo at San Nicolas ang pinakamalapit sa Bulkan Taal. Pangalawa, yung Lemery ay naapektuhan because of the severe ash fall. Plus, there were fissures or nasira ang mga kalsada.
Bitak. Oo, may mga bitak. Okay. And Volcano Island, and Talisay, kasi malapit din siya, no?
Ang Talisay, iba ang pagka-damage sa kanya because of the severe ash fall plus malakas po ang ulan nung linggo at nung Lunes nung sumabog ang bulkan, naging maputik ang buong lugar.
So kailangan talaga. Pero meron pa hong mga residente, may mga kababayan pa po kayo dyan.
Kung meron man, siguro mga 1-2% na lang. Kung kaya't talagang pinilit na po ng kinauukulan na lisanin na nila ang lugar. Kasi may mga naiwan pa at talagang ayaw pa.
Bumabalik no? So, Vice Gov,
lumikas.
ang Volcano Island. So, ang Volcano Island ho ba is separated into 2? Ganun ho ba yun?
Yes, actually, may barangay rin ang Volcano Island na galing sa Tanawan, Balete, and Agoncillo. But Volcano Island, ever since, has been declared both a permanent danger zone and a protected area. Panahon pa ni former President Fidel Ramos. Tapos sinang-ayunan ito ni former President Gloria Arroyo. Subalit, hindi talaga maiwasan na pakinabangan ito ng mga local folks, especially for tourism purposes.
Why did you allow people to live there, sir, if dapat wala na ho?
Actually, we did not allow. As a matter of fact, the provincial government provided a relocation site in Balete, Batangas. Yung mga taga-barangay Kawit ng Pulo, nailipat na po namin ang kanilang pamilya sa mainland, sa Balete.
Okay.
And that was developed by the provincial government.
But how many residents are there? I heard, sir, there were about, I was reading some report, it was 4,000 individuals living in the Volcano Island.
More or less,
So
yes.
then you allowed, sir, them to live there. Pinabayaan niyo ho sila.
Medyo naging lax po kami doon. Sapagkat, sabi ko nga, parang nakasanayan na po ng aming kultura, ng aming mga kababayan, na hindi naman talaga tuluyang sasabog or parang nakasanayan na nila yung risk ng Taal Volcano, even if we know if it was a active volcano.
Yeah, so that's what I don't understand, Vice Gov. What do you plan to do after this? Kasi kung sinabi na hong no man's land yan at protected area at hindi dapat tirhan ng mga tao, and I'm not just referring to you, and this is not really to blame anyone, sir, but residents continue to live there. Some say, of course, hindi nyo pinapaalis because it would be political suicide for officials over there. Pero napabayaan ho talaga sila as you admitted. So nagkaroon ho talaga ng pagkukulang ang gobyerno ng Batangas. Parang ganun po, yung local officials ng Batangas.
Well, you see, not only in the Philippines but different parts of the world, meron ding mga lugar kung saan nakikilala o prominente sila sa larangan ng turismo because of the risk that is involved. Like, you know, people go to mountains, faraway places, even volcanoes as a tourism attraction or destination. Now, people really go to the volcano island primarily for tourism.
Right.
And people live there because they want to take advantage of that tourism economy.
Right.
Now, dahil nangyari na nga ito ay pagkakataon at senyalis na rin para malinawan ang lahat na hindi talaga pwedeng tumira dyan.
Hindi na makakabalik kahit na in 1 year, sir, or 6 months. Ganun ho ba?
Under our watch, yan ang titiyakin namin.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, noon pa man, nung sumabog ang bulkanong 1965, nagbigay na po ang pamahalaan panlalawigan ng relocation site, particularly in Rosario and San Juan. This is so far from Volcano Island and Lake. Now, yung mga tao na lumikas o napunta sa San Juan at Rosario, bumalik sa San Nicolas. Noon pa man, during the 60s, 70s, kasi tila walang kabuhayan doon. Pero 2020 is different from 1960-ish. Definitely, during that time, wala pa masyadong infrastructure, wala pa masyadong mga kalsada at mga public markets.
So hindi na sila pababalikin dyan, sir?
Hindi na po namin pababalikin dyan.
The present watch of this, the government, yung pong mga local officials.
At meron pa kami natitirang mga lupa doon sa original evacuation centers in Rosario and San Juan. And we are considering to redevelop this with the current infrastructure para bumalik ang ating mga kababayan doon at yung mga hindi pa naninirahan dati doon ay makonsider nilang tumira doon.
Kailangan maengganyo sila, Vice Governor. Kailangan may kabuhayan doon para pumunta po sila doon. We'll be taking another short break. We'll be right back. Watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Batangas Vice Governor Mark Leviste. Vice Gov, so what's the plan from here on?
As I've mentioned, we have an immediate, intermediate, and long-term plan. Our short-term or immediate plan is to assure the relief operations in terms of safety and comfort, convenience of our kababayans who chose to evacuate from their homes and lockdown areas. And then the intermediate plan is to provide housing to our displaced kababayans to safer and higher grounds. The long-term plan is to also provide livelihood, to rebuild and rehabilitate the loss of agriculture, livestock in the entire province of Batangas.
I just want to bring this in before we say goodbye, sir. There is a donation hub for those who want to help. Kasi medyo minsan daw may confusion at nagkakagulo. Some areas are given more than the others. So there's a donation hub that people can actually call and go to give their donations, no?
Yes, our donation hub is located in our PDRRMC office that is in Batangas City, Barangay Bolbok. So it's a 24-hour operating office facility, and we accept all donations, cash or in kind.
All right.
This way, we will be able to organize properly and centralize the distribution of your donations and give equitable support and help to our kababayans, those, most especially those who are in need the most.
Okay, so we'd like to thank Batangas Vice Governor Mark Leviste, and there will be a special session of the House of Representatives today over there in Batangas. Vice Gov, maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.